Welcome to the table.
Thank you.
You look really pretty.
Thank you.
Wow, I love it. So it's been a minute since since I got on the podcast with you.
Yes.
Like my presence was being missed.
I don't know. Let's ask. Is it Miss?
Let's make a poll. So I wanted to sit down and just chat. It's like non-scripted. There's no agenda. But I wanted to talk about a podcast from this guy. He's Irish. He's an immigrant.
Right.
He came in when he was 17 years old. He had $92 in his pocket. And so that resonated with me because when I got here from Venezuela, I have $200 in my pocket. Dude, what do you do with $200? Or what do you do with $97? And he said something very, very important. One, the mindset that he came with. Like immigrants, we just think differently because the adversities that we've gone through because of the way we were raised and because the opportunity that we see in the United States. And so that leads me to ask you, if you remember, what was your mindset back then? I'm not going to ask you how much you had in your pockets because you came with your parents, but what was your mindset back then?
I didn't have a plan and I didn't have a choice because at that time I was a 17-year-old, very naive girl. And they told me, this is what we're doing. Just get on the plane. And that's really it. I was not asked if I wanted to. I was not given a choice. It was just like, let's go. And so when I got here, it was like, okay, you're here. You have to make it work. There was no plan B. There was no, if this doesn't work, then we'll fill in the blank. There was nothing like that.
Right.
So it was just get here and figure it out. And that has been really my mindset for everything in life that I remember after that. Life is not easy, but every time there is an obstacle is okay. If you need to cry, cry it out, but figure it out. And that has always been my way of doing things here in the United States. Figure it out.
Yeah, because number one, we touched on this a while ago, the language, right? So you have to learn the language, but it's not only the language. You have to think about the big picture. The language is just one of the challenges, which is big, right? But think about the culture itself. We both came when we were young, but we were young. We grew up and were raised in our countries, but we were young enough to learn quick, but we were also grown enough to where, okay, I come from a different world, basically. You know what I mean? So for me, at least, it was, how do I adapt? How do I navigate? And then you have the pressure as a young person that you want to fit in. I guess the word fitting in is not the right one, but you want to be part of the culture, not lose who you are, but you want to learn the language. You want to, like me, I wanted to date. I wanted to go out with girls and everything. So I needed to learn the different moving parts so I can adapt. I had to navigate through that. Just to give you an example, I remember right off the plane, we go to Burger King. So back home, Burger King's back in the day and McDonald's, it was not like an everyday thing. Like it's expensive. It's not a place where you go to every day to eat. If you're wealthy, yeah. But even then, McDonald's and those fast food places were treated like a treat. Really, okay, not like gourmet type of restaurant, but it was like an outing. Okay, we're going to McDonald's. And the thing is, for me, when I arrived to the US, we went to Burger King. It was the refill. I drank soda 5 times. Like I went to and refill. Like for me, that was like unheard of. You know what I'm saying? What about this? When I went to the grocery store, the huge box of cornflakes. The cornflake boxes
Are
in
little.
Latin America, they're small, they're just regular size. But in America, everything is big, like big. You know what I'm saying? Sam's Club, all that. So for me, it was a little hard to navigate through that, like just minor pieces, but they do make an impact. So I don't know if you saw stuff like that, that for you, it was like, what?
I don't think that I was trying to necessarily adapt because I didn't realize I had to adapt. Again, in my head, I just didn't understand anything that was happening. I was extremely naive, and I don't even recall me thinking, "Oh, I have to adapt or I have to learn the culture or anything like that." I was just going with the flow every single day, whatever I had to do. If I had to go to the store, if I had to go and register for college. I didn't even know the whole process for college, but I registered how, I don't even know. It just happened. So everything happened. I was just doing and whatever worked. But I do have to say that as I was doing things and I was working and I was doing, I was faced with things that were extremely surprising to me. Just saying hi to people. We say hi and nice to meet you, kissing each other in the cheek. It is completely normal. Now that I say that I've been living here in the United States most of my life, and me just even thinking about it, it feels weird. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want somebody to kiss me on the cheek
I
now
know.
because it just feels weird. But at that time, it was just what I knew, it was what I was raised with. And it was just the normal. It was not like, oh, go and kiss in the cheek. You just don't think, you just do. But yeah, I got in a lot of trouble at school, especially because of that in college. Everybody thought I was flirting with them. And I'm like, no, I was just saying hi because that's how we do it in our country. So I had to learn the hard way that you just don't do that here.
Imagine if it was Europe, if you were from Europe, 2 kisses. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, yeah.
I'm sure there were a couple of guys that didn't mind it at
No,
all.
I'm sure.
But
I wouldn't have.
but that's what I'm saying. Like I never thought, or I never, the word adapt or the sentence or the concept, I like, you have to adapt to this new world. For me, in my head, I guess I didn't realize that it was a new world. I didn't realize I had to adapt. I didn't realize that I had to change and I had to do all these things. For me, it was just like, you're here. And the only thing I knew was that I didn't know anything and I didn't have any friends, that I had left all my friends in Colombia, and that was it. So for me, it was like, okay, go make friends and go sign up in college. And by the way, they didn't accept my diploma, even though I graduated from high school. They didn't accept my diploma because the credits or something were not valid here. They made me take the GED. Nothing wrong with taking the GED if you have taken the GED. But for me, having graduated, it was like, seriously? But anyway, I took it and that's how I ended up in college and I did the thing. And I just went with the flow, but it was never about adapting. Now I understand that I did adapt to a lot of things without knowing. So,
Yeah, you just roll with the punches. That's basically it.
yeah.
So me too. Although I have to say, all my friends, we were all together, and then 3 of them went back, and then just 3 of us just stay here. So it was a little easier. And then on top of that, like the music that I listened to, it was English. So for me, it was a lot easier to adapt because I knew a little bit about the culture and stuff, but it's not the same when you see it from the outside. And now I'm here living it. So that's the piece that it took me a minute. Okay, wow. So that's why is that. And then in Latin America or most Latin American countries, what they say. Oh, look at we're driving on a country road. Oh, look, like the tumbleweeds. Oh, like the Western movies.
That
Oh my
actually
God, that
exists.
exists. So it's like the movies. Everything we say. Even my mom now, like even to this day, she's oh look at that, just like the movies. And it's yeah, the movies were based on whatever is happening.
Just like the
It's just
movies.
regular life. It's if you shoot a movie in Dominican Republic, Colombia, Venezuela, whatever. I'm sure like Americans when they go to outside of the US, oh look like the documentaries. Or look like the movie, same thing. But again, for me it was a little shocking because life is so fast. I needed to adapt. And a lot of times, like you said, I didn't even think about it. I was just like almost like if I was born and raised here. So the good thing too is that I made friends that were born and raised in the US. Rapidly, we learn about how things worked and like how people act. And then when you're young, you just absorb a lot faster than when you're
Yeah.
older. So that's basically what he was saying. The guy was saying that as an immigrant, his mindset was different. However, he took advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
And right now, the immigration topic is touchy. It is very sensitive. Many people agree with one side, and some of the others that don't agree with the other side. The one thing that I have to say, though, is I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger saying something at a talk show, and he said something that I never forgot. And I always kept in my mind, like even before I heard it. When you go to a country, you must adapt to their laws, their culture, their
Yeah.
views. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose your essence
Who you
or the
are.
essence of who you are or forget where you're coming from. However, it is an opportunity. I think that United States still the best country in the world where you have the opportunity to become whoever you want to become. And even though right now it's going through a transition, there's still so many opportunities for immigrants. If you do it the right way, if you do it the legal way, and you treat it as your home. I wouldn't go to your house. Let's say I wouldn't go to my neighbor's house and they invite me over and just do whatever I want in their house. I will go and like I will treat it better than my house. When I remember when I used to rent, remember we used to rent? We left those
That place.
places better than the actual owner.
Yeah.
Be better than when we moved in. And I've always had that. Like my mom always taught me that. When you go somewhere, make sure you are well behaved. And if you are renting, make sure you leave that place better than the way you got it.
Yeah. 100%. I do think that topic is very sensitive right now. There's a lot of people that are hurting, that are going through things, a lot of people that have fear, a lot of people that have anxiety about the topic. I lived it. I know that you lived it. You had your fair share of that. I also did at some point in time. It's not easy, but at the same time, I do believe that there is a right way and a wrong way. And I know that a lot of people, and I heard this, it's so hard sometimes to do it the right way. And I agree. It is hard, or I should say, it's not necessarily easy to do it the right way. Otherwise, everybody would do it. Otherwise, like probably there would be nobody else in any other country and everybody would be here. But the fact that it is not easy to do it the right way doesn't mean that we should do it the wrong way. You know what I mean? It's not easy, for example, when you enter in corporate and you're trying to get to the corporate ladder. When I was in the corporate ladder, I would always say it's so
You were
hard.
in the corporate ladder?
Yes, I
No,
was.
you were in the corporate world. And you
Corporate
were
world,
trying to climb
going
the
out
ladder.
the corporate ladder. And I would always say it's so hard to get a management position. It's so hard. But I would always try and try and try. And I never forced myself into becoming, I never went in there and said, I'm a manager today out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Or, for example, I know of a friend of mine that she had a boyfriend and she broke up with the boyfriend And she's like, you know what? This is it. We're no boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. Let's leave it like that. And the guy kept on saying, no, we're still boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know what you're thinking. You're probably too confused. And she's like, no, I'm not confused. Like, we're breaking up. And the guy was like, no, we're not breaking up. You're confused. I'm going to let you think about it. And tomorrow we're going to talk about it, but we're not broken up.
It
And
was
she's
in denial.
wait, but I'm telling you, we're breaking up. We're actually broken up right now. And again, it is what it is. It may be not easy. I should say, I was going to say maybe hard. It's not easy, but that doesn't mean that we should do it the wrong way just because it's not that easy.
We know it's not easy. A lot of people don't even know. A lot of people have no knowledge of how the system works. And so they always comment they should do it the right way. The right way, it may take
15
forever.
years.
And even then, there's so many loopholes, it's just so many things happening, so too many moving pieces. What I think it's not right is the way certain people express their feelings with violence and like destroying. So I'm like, man, if you are trying to prove a point, that is not the right way. Again, if I go to someone's house and I live there for a period of time, I'm going to make sure that I do whatever I can to follow the rules of the homeowner, right? Be polite, educated, behave, clean. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go make a mess. And if the owner of the house tells me, man, your time is up, you have to go.
Or didn't invite you.
Huh?
Or didn't
Or
invite
didn't
you.
invite me. That's another one. But let's say they invited you and then for a period of time, they say, hey, listen, you can be here for a year while while they're fixing your house, right? But then you just get comfortable, which is easy. I'm not saying it's not, but you get comfortable, you get complacent, and now you almost feel like you have rights and you are self-righteous and do things that you're not supposed to and still demand that no, I'm not gonna go. You demand to stay. Those type of things, and then you become violent. Those are the type of things that I don't necessarily agree with. And I have many conversations, even with family members, that they feel that it is not
Fair.
it's not fair. But at the end of the day, all of us that are immigrants, whether you're from Europe, Latin America, it doesn't matter. We all know that this is home, but if they ask us to leave, we have to leave. Like, that's not an easy thing. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not gonna go and burn houses and burn cars and do all that crazy stuff. I don't even know why I went over that route.
He said something yesterday that I wanted to point out because he said many people that come to this country come with wanting to take from the country. They come entitled, hey, government, give me food, give me rent, give me cell phone, give me. I think he said they come to take. But the ones that should be here are the ones that want to contribute.
He said that in Ireland, they had many people from other countries. That's why he said they came and they took. The moment
to Ireland,
to not the U.S., the moment they reduced the welfare and all that stuff, people fled. So what he's saying is that here or anywhere wherever you go, and I guess that's the point you're trying to bring is you don't come to take, you come to give.
That's
right?
yeah, that's exactly. So whoever wants to be here, whether they're here or not yet, they should come thinking about that. What can you come to contribute? Because yes, this country was built really from immigrants, and we do need the immigrants, but we do need the immigrants that want to contribute, that want to do, that want to give, that want to work hard, that want to create a better society, that want to help, that want to make it better, not only for their own people, but also giving back to the opportunity that we're given here. Not people that come and are like, hey, I don't know how to work. I don't care about your English. I don't care about your laws. I'm just here and pay everything for me. And by the way, I'm not going to pay taxes. Or if I am, that's as much as you're going to get from me, like my fair share of
Right.
taxes. And talking about taxes, a lot of people are like, I'm paying my taxes. And that sounds like I'm doing so much for the United States. No, that's what we all do to make sure that this country continues to be the country that it is, the best
Right.
country. But you should do more than just paying your taxes. Just saying.
You have to give back and not only contribute financially, but also with your resources, with your mindset. And this is the reason a lot of countries, especially in Europe right now, they're bringing in all kinds of people and then open borders and giving them welfare. And it takes away from the essence of an immigrant. Normally, historically speaking, immigrants came to provide a better life for their families. They, statistically speaking, the immigrants, they work harder. They appreciate more. That is the essence of an immigrant. The essence of an immigrant is not to riot, to complain, to just do whatever the heck they want. The essence of an immigrant is, again, come, work hard, make something of yourself, take advantage of the opportunity, and give back to the society to make it a better society, a better place, right? Because you came from adversity, whether it was financial adversity, whether it was political adversity, emotional, psychological, whatever it is. You don't go from one place to another to go through hard times,
The same thing, yeah.
to suffer. Like if you left, in my case, I left Venezuela. I was young, but I was like, you know what? I think I can better myself somewhere else. And that's when I came to the United States. I would, as a matter of fact, for a long period of time, my brothers were doing even better than what I was doing here in the United States. However, look at what happened in Venezuela. They ended up migrating here because things got bad, right? Economically and as a society. They came, they work hard, they provided for their family, they're making a better life for themselves and their kids. They are contributing not only with their taxes, but also by providing jobs, raising well mannered kids with good values and all that. So that's giving back. It's crazy when I see people hating America and you live in America. That's, to me, it's mind blowing. I'm serious. I tell them, man, I tell them straight up, why don't you move somewhere else?
Yeah.
If you don't like it here.
That's the thing of many of us immigrants. It's not that we necessarily didn't like it, but we didn't like what we were living in our countries, and that's why we came here. So, quote unquote, that's the freedom that we all have. If you don't like where you live, go and ask whatever country you do love and you do to see if you can go in. I am pretty sure that all the other countries are a little bit, maybe, more open to receiving people from the United States. I don't know. Maybe that's a possibility, but we can always ask. I'm happy here. I'm going to stay here.
I know.
I'm not going
know.
anywhere.
I want to make sure that I am extremely clear on this. Being an immigrant and me saying or us saying that we have an advantage for whatever reason, it doesn't necessarily mean that US born people or citizens or nationals don't have an advantage. We all have the equal advantage. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is that us, and I'm speaking to the other immigrants, we have a different mindset. Let's take advantage of that. Let's go ahead and maximize those resources that we have, and so we can do better and contribute more to this country. Like, it's the mindset. We don't have anything, I guess, to fall back on. That's the mindset. That's just, hey man, like I'm not going back, so I'm going to do whatever it takes.
You burned the boat.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever it takes. Have you like ever encountered someone that said, "Oh, I remember when I was there and then I could do better. I can."
Oh yeah, many people. Actually, I know many people that have gone back, which is great. If it's working for them, that's fine. But I do meet a lot of people that are here and have been here many years or maybe recent, many of them, but are always with one foot here and one foot there. Is let me see if it works. Let me see if I get used to it. Let me see if I adapt. And when there is that mentality of let me see if, that doesn't work really for anything in life. It's like us wanting to get married and is, well, let me see if it works. If you go into the relationship with that mentality, don't even get into the relationship. It's not going to work. Or let's see if I'm not going to get into my car and let's see if it starts. No, I just get into the car and I know it's going to start. And so that is the mentality. Like, you just have to go with it. You just have to burn your boat. You just have to, like, straight up just do whatever it takes for you to get there. And I think that a lot of it, the let me see if, is because those people don't have a vision. When you don't have a vision, and I didn't have a vision, so quote unquote, nothing wrong with that. But at some point in time, you have to have a vision. When you don't have a vision, you don't know where you're going. And when you don't know where you're going, you can have one foot here and one foot there because you're like, where is this boat going? Should I stay here? Or are you guys just docking and chilling? Or are you guys going to the North Pole? Like, where are you guys going? But it's not where are you guys going, is where do I want to go? Whether it is I am going to go to college, I'm going to stay there for years and then I'm going to go back, or I'm going to do real estate. I'm going to buy 20 houses and I'm going to rent it out. I'm going to build a business. What is it that you want to do? Not only that you want to do, what is your vision, whether you achieve it or not, but what's your vision so you can take off that foot that is stuck in there, just get on the boat, start going. Then once you get to the first island, burn the boat and figure it out. But yeah, I always say, if you have not made the decision to do it, don't even, like, you're wasting time. Just do it.
The journey is something that many of us don't enjoy because we're so focused on either the past or what's ahead. But we don't necessarily, a lot of time, and I'm guilty of that, is we don't enjoy the process,
I don't think anybody
the
does.
journey. But everybody that made it to the other side always say, try to enjoy the process, because along the way, it's where you learn many of the skills that will help you on the other side. But a lot of times when you don't enjoy the process, you can become bitter. And that's what a lot of people that have the one foot here and one foot there, mentally and emotionally speaking, that's what's happening. They're not enjoying that. Even if you only know how to say hello, good morning.
Hello,
No, that's
Adele. It didn't even
sexy,
sound like Adele.
that sounded more like Lionel Richie. Hello, is it me?
Not even.
Even if you only been here a year, right? And you only know how to say good morning, hello, good night, good evening, 1, 2, 3. Hey, man, you did not know that before. Just the fact that you're learning a new language, that is part of the journey.
That is part of the journey.
That is part of the process, that what you're learning. And like a lot of times we don't even think about it. Like we don't even enjoy the moment until, man, like it's been a minute, or you make it to the other side and you turn back, it's wow, going through that made me this person. Going through the hardship. Like in my case, I remember I've told the story before where when I went through my divorce and I was just fighting for my kids and everything. And it was just a stupid decision between the both of us to fight for that, because at the end of the day, we fire our lawyers and we end up like coming together and say, hey, this is what's best for the kids, and resolve the issue ourselves. But in the midst of it, I remember I was working 3 jobs, and I was tired, but after I was done with it, it was like, oh, so satisfying. After I made it to the other side, I look back and I'm like, man, I was always, even though I was going through a hardship, I was always trying to figure out, like, I was getting off work, getting home. I was always active. Man, I was fit and everything. There was little things. I was enjoying life. Even though in the midst of hardship, I was enjoying life. I was picking up the kids. Those things are part of the process, right? If someone is going through that and we can speak to someone, hey, even if you're going through a hard time, find the little pockets where you will find fulfillment, where you will find enjoyment, and that will help you push yourself and keep on going.
I'm laughing because that is okay. Let's do another episode right now.
No.
Oh my God. About the processes
We'll
of
talk about
life.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can talk about processes for 4 or 5 hours, 10 hours.
Yeah. Okay, Joe Rogan.
No,
His podcasts are like crazy. That'll be interesting. But have you ever, while going through hardship, have you ever sit down and think about, wow, this is hard, but I'm learning this, I'm learning that. Do you realize, because a lot of times we don't realize that we are actually developing either skills, whatever.
I don't think that when we just get the news of something bad or of a hardship or anything like that, it's just automatically and it's naturally for everybody that we just get the emotion and we get either angry or sad, upset, whatever you call it that you're feeling. And at that moment, you don't think, you just feel
Because
the
your
emotion.
body is
It
trying
is
to protect
logical.
you, right?
Yeah. So it is what it is when you receive the news of whatever is happening. But I can tell you that when something happens, you always have the option to either ponder on that emotion or feel your emotion. And I always say this, feel your emotion, feel your feelings. 5 minutes. If you need to cry, go cry. If you need to vent, go vent. If you need to go and scream, don't scream at anyone. Just go out and patio and whatever. Just scream out. And that's about it. But come back to your senses. Think about it and analyze. Look at the facts. And once you look at the facts and once you see everything that is happening, it may be completely bad news. It may be a diagnosis, God forbid. It may be someone passed away, someone, there are so many things. And quote unquote, there's not necessarily something good out of everything. Like, how are you going to tell me there is something good out of me losing someone? There's nothing good out of that. Maybe there is nothing good out of that, but you always have the opportunity to get something good out of that. And I'll tell you this because a few years ago, I'm going to say probably 6 years ago, I went to an event of these people. They were doing bids and stuff to raise funds. And I didn't really know what it was for at the beginning. But when I was there, the couple were talking on the microphone and I was invited. So I really didn't know what I was going for. But they were talking about their son. And when they said our son passed away, but they were saying it with a huge smile on their faces. And I'm like, I'm so confused because your son passed away. Their son passed away from a diagnosis. I'm not going to say which illness because I don't recall specifically. It's been a while, so I don't want to mess it up. But it was a diagnosis. And the child passed away. And they were so heartbroken. Of course, they had to mourn their child and everything. But they created something beautiful out of that because from there, they went through a financial hardship. So what they started doing was doing these events to raise funds for other families that their children were going through something like that, and they were helping financially, and that was fulfilling their heart into, you know what, our son gave us this mission of helping other people that are going through what we went through, whether our son is here or not. That's something that fulfills our heart, and that even though our child passed away, that we still keep him alive somehow. Hello, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So of course it's not going to be at the beginning. Of course, maybe the smile is not going to come out that first day. I'm getting here tongue twisted, sorry, because it's emotional. But there is always a point where you can just, you know what? I'm going to feel my feelings. I felt my feelings. I'm going to analyze this. If everything looks so horrible, what can I either get out that it's good, or what opportunity do I have to turn this and make it good for the world, for society?
That is beautiful. I like that.
You're welcome.
That's why I marry you. See that?
I know.
So thank you. This was really awesome. Until next time, the American Dreamers Club podcast.